So, there we do. Tickety boo, we are back with you. Oh, I have to get out some musical instruments later on. We could have Hippie Shindig. There is second position, Peter Enders in the pits for Atlantic Racing. He's not in second anymore. He's near down to third because Andre Martins has gone through. And Jimmy Dion's coming round to the final kink. We'll have him shortly too. Careful, Simon. Press the right button. There we go, and indeed he is through. Jimmy now up into third position. Peter Enders now out from his second stop. Let's just have a quick look actually at what the pit stops are. Come on. Come on. No likey, we'll get that. Oh, we'll go for fastest times first, and we'll go for pit stops. We're joined in the commentary booth by Yuri Jizzing. How you doing, Yuri?
Woohoo! Hello, thank you. I'm fine, thanks. Pretty good stint, pretty good qualification as well.
Absolutely. Who's your driver out on track at the minute?
Sorry, what was the question?
Which drivers are out on track for your team at the moment?
Oh, at the moment, René Hoogverp is driving in the orange car for us. He took over the wheel from me 50 minutes ago. And, well, fortunately, he's already crushing my times after 3 laps or something. So he's doing fine. He just picked up 4th position in class, so yeah, that's pretty good. So we're back where we started, which was something I lost. I fell back pretty quick after starting.
But you are Mr. Consistent though, because you don't generally crash out, so that's just as important really along these kind of races, isn't it?
I do hope I don't crash out. But the team is pretty good in that respect, and well, I just hope we can finish it, of course. And in the grey car, Maurice is driving. He sent his regards to you, Simon, and he was very pleased to hear that he was considered a Sunday driver. So,
in fact, just for you, Maurice, we're going to do, if I can work it out, a little hot lap with you. Oh, I was going to say let's do a hot lap, but that's not the track, Maurice. Get back, come back, come on. This is your moment of fame. Moment of fame.
Poor guy. Now, Maurice is doing pretty well because it's his first race in the series.
Yeah.
And well, he's in the car around pretty well. He's been involved in one crash, unfortunately, which made him stop a bit sooner than expected. And he's going to hand over the wheel in a couple of minutes to Saiso. Let's see what he makes of it. But they're having not a bad race at all, so we're pretty happy so far.
Speaking of drivers from the 31st position car, the KBRS team Ferrari just drivers from that now with some years now behind the wheel.
Aha, welcome to the race, Louis Santi. That's a very nice name. Sounds like sleigh bells ring. Are you listening? We're enjoying a lovely hot lap on board with Maurice Sondag. So we'll do one with fully one with the GT2 cars, and then we'll do one on board with the GT. Oh, Ferris wheel. On board with the P1 cars, so you can just see the sheer difference of how they're driving. Because where everyone's pitting, Jimmy Dion is now back up front in the lead, but yet to pit from Peter Enders. Welcome to the race, Ryan von Steinen in 3rd place in Satellite Racing, taking over from I've forgotten his name already. He was out leading quite a lot. Yes, him. But he's out there now for Satellite Racing.
I don't know the guy.
It's on the tip of my tongue. Answers on a postcard, everyone.
Mike Smolczewski.
That's the one.
Just
Small Chesty. I remember it now. I just say Small Chesty.
Yeah, I found him on. I did print out the beautiful spotter guide that Magnus Dahlgren didn't produce.
I love those little spotter guides. Thank you to whoever it is that does those, because they look so pretty.
This case there was Magnus Dahlgren from the ME Racing team. P2 guys. Are they still in the race, by the way? Yeah, they're in 9th position right now. That's the guys that provide the spotter guide.
Ah, okay. Thank you, Magnus. U equals rule. So you can see the sun setting more and more. I want to see that Ferris wheel in lights. Is there pictures of people on that Ferris wheel, or is that just me?
I'm not sure, because they'll probably be throwing up the way the seats are located in the wheel.
Okay. I was like, that's incredible detail if there is. Just gotta love the Ferris wheel.
Yeah. It's a pretty one.
I am
especially
actually
at night
of the Ferris wheel. So.
Ah, and there you can see Larry Santee now on your screens. Welcome to the race for KBR Racing. Down in 31st position, still 35 drivers, or teams rather, remaining. Somewhat still last of them, but he's not too far behind Carl Middleton, so still plenty to play for, and it's just an achievement really to get to the end. The fact that we're coming up to the 2-hour mark, I think, shows that everyone already has done a fantastic job to get this far, because you've already beaten what most Formula 1 drivers will attempt to do. And talking of people saying that they've got a 24-hour Sky Pack, what do you guys, I don't suppose it really matters to you too much, but Formula 1's going over to the BBC, losing live races from the BBC, it's going over to Sky. What's your opinions on that? That'd be none then.
Asking?
Anyone,
Yeah,
free for
you're
all.
asking people that are not watching from England, so I'm not sure that's a relevant question.
Oh
I'm
well.
living in Norway, so.
Do you have like your motor racing on terrestrial TVs, or do you have to like pay for it like pay-per-view?
In Holland, you can watch all the
motor
Grand
racing
Prix.
is banned from TV, I think.
Okay. In Holland, you can watch all the Grand Prix live and on regular television.
See, this so sucks. England, we've been robbed. I'm starting a petition.
We
Oh,
have the
bad.
Motors TV.
It's a commercial
it's not
broadcasting company. I'm not sure it's. I'm actually not sure how the rights with TV are handled in Holland, but it's not one of the nationalized channels, that's for sure.
Because isn't Holland quite unusual in the fact that all I hear your commentator do is swear?
He has a hand of that. It's not always very analytical. He has a tendency to be emotional about it as well, which is, I think, quite funny.
Yeah. And because it's an ex-F1 driver, isn't it? I've forgotten his name.
Sorry, what?
Who is your commentator? I've forgotten his name.
It's Olaf Mol, but I don't think he's ever driven a race in Formula 1.
Ooh.
I don't think he'll ever do that.
No, hasn't. Sorry, I was thinking of not, but the one that was his manager. Anyway, don't mind me. Welcome to the race, Samuli Leon.
Samuli
Lennon.
Yeah.
He must be Finnish.
Leave it to the Scandinavians.
Yeah.
Samuli
You did the
Lennon.
pronunciations. I'm just coming with the smutty comments. And also, welcome to the race, 35th position, Georgios Davakos for Waterblue Racing as well. So, plenty of driver stops happening around this 2-hour mark. And also...
Yeah? Go
So-
ahead.
Getting all excitable now. Oh, right. Someone pronounced Jerome's surname for me in 30th position.
Oh, we're going to be fired from this job when we say that name.
It's Saisao.
Thank you. Well, yes, thanks. So, Jerome Southall for, I still said it wrong, for SRVN GT2 in 30th position, so lots of new names. Welcome.
And on that note, in the 34th position car of Downforce Racing, we have Nick Newcomb behind the wheel.
Ah. See, why do
Typical
you have to
Royce, take the easy names.
Yeah! Disgraceful in the Downforce Racing team. So, their driving has become a little more plausible and thick now, so that's looking good for that yellow and blue team, although he's taking a little bit too much curb there. But let's take a quick onboard lap with Jimmy Dion, our current race leader, if we can. I don't know. Oh, let's go for that one. And let's just see the difference between an onboard lap with a GT2. Let's see one on board with a P1 and see exactly what it's all like. And I shall leave in the capable hands of Roy, Joakim and Yuri while I quickly run something this week. I'm starving. And then
Seems
we'll
like the field is quite spreading out.
I was going to say, you can speak now.
Field is quite spread out so far. I think the most close battle we have at this moment is the battle for 24th position, and that's between two GT cars. Marcel Persky on board for that competition is chasing down Philip Rayner and Sam Wright of the AGP Consortium team. They're actually the winners of last year, the AGP Consortium drivers in the Porsche. But we'll have to see whether they can complete and do that again this year. They are currently 5th in class and being threatened by the Connect competition car.
Look how fast it is closing up on the Ferrari. Doom is past. There's a big difference in speed between the P1s and the GT2s.
Yeah, the closing speeds is pretty enormous, especially at Daytona with a P1 car getting up to about 335, 336 kilometers an hour, and a GT2 getting up to 287, especially into turn 1. There's a big difference in speed. I see quite a lot has changed since I've been away. Jimmy Dion back in the lead.
Yeah, it's having quite a gap with Peter Anders, 25 seconds right now. It's a lot closer for third and fourth, where Andre Martins is defending a 6-second gap on Ryan van Steinen.
Ryan's currently in quite a bit of traffic. Looks like you got GT2 leader there, Renato Dornails. There's the SRBN car in there as well, and Telekiss and the P2 car, so quite a bit of traffic there for Ryan. But I believe we have been joined by Maurice Zondag.
Yes, indeed. Good afternoon, everyone.
Hello. I saw you were involved in quite a few battles going on there, and a few scratches and scrapes on the car. Yeah, what happened with your student?
Well, it was very interesting. It was my first time I had an event like this going on here, so it was quite anxious to do the start and all that. But yeah, I had some fun battles with a lot of guys, and well, also not quite fun battles with other guys.
Yeah, I saw a close moment that you had with I think it was the Atlantic Racing team, John van der Geest.
Yeah,
going down the straight. I had a bit of lag, so I didn't see what exactly happened. But yeah, explain what happened.
Well, yeah, I was. He was a little bit all over the place, to be exact, and yeah, we touched a little and grabbed the mirrors to each other, and finally, so yeah, I think he like the race line who were drawn out there. So yeah, it was exciting, but that's racing, I guess.
Yeah. Just to update you, very, very strange incident has just happened in the pits. It's the Water Blue Racing P2 car driven by Nieves was in its box, and the SRH Zeno Motorsport car just came in front of it, and as he did that, the Water Blue Racing car started to get going and drove into the back of the SRH Zeno Motorsport car, and it looks like they've got damage now at the front of that Water Blue Racing P2 car. It's missing its front splitter, that they will have to come back into the pits and fix that damage. Not quite sure how much damage the SRH car will have, but they are looking a bit wonky in their pit box after that impact. Not really necessary to have contact in the pits.
And not very desirable either.
No.
Looks like the Xeno car has some side damage as well, but I'm not sure that's the result of the accident.
Just one double check, when was the last time? Did you guys restart it when I was away?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
I see a certain name in the commentators channel.
Yes, Mr. Simon, I have a little apple to peel, as they call that in the Netherlands here.
Wow, I think you could make a whole fruit salad, my friend.
I heard you make some fun about my last name and what's combined with driving with that, buddy.
You brought it on yourself.
Yes. Well, I have to go, so I wish you all a lot of luck here in the country watching it. So thanks a lot for the great days today.
Enjoy. You're not coming back onto the
back?
race then?
No, I have to leave here, so
Okay.
talk to you later.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye. No, like old times.
And just
Yeah.
continue then, we had driver swap in the SRH Xeno Motorsport car when they were in the pits with Morten Wernersen left the car and David Blumels got in.
Well, we've just had a ridiculous incident from the Water Blue Racing P2 car that is driving around like an absolute nutter with no front splitter on the car, and he had a hefty impact with the World Connect Competition GT2 car, completely unnecessary. So Water Blue Racing team had just been handed a 60-second stop and go, so pretty much as harsh as they come penalties like that, but completely unnecessary, unjustified, especially driving around with a damaged car like that.
And no splitter on that thing, and they've been driving around with it for more than a lap now.
Yep, and they're going out for another lap, so I think they need instructing that they need to go and make a pit stop, and it looks like they have DNF'd, they've left. So, not quite sure, that's obviously a rage quit there, but that's not acceptable to be driving like that, and we do not like to see that.
Yep, he's definitely left the game, left the server, so we're not seeing Water Blue Racing back this race, unfortunately.
Our race leader, though, Jimmy Dion's been into the pits. Peter Enders has retaken over the lead. So that just shows them that actually giving that stop go penalty was right, because if that driver's not in the right frame of mind, then they shouldn't be out there racing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Wow.
All the while, Peter Enders, the new leader, is catching up with some traffic. He's also catching up with the 05 Motorsports car, so he's going to look to lap that one. I think it's Jens Larsen.
And what it's about just gave Joakim a heart attack here.
How did I do that?
It rang.
I'm surprised you haven't heard the ticking noises all the way standing there. Oh well, we'll take that later. I'll go and get my pizza then.
Pizza? Someone say pizza.
I would like some pizza. Especially
We actually got
for my
4.
students, so that's just selfish.
I guess it's dangerous stuff to mention food in a broadcasting channel.
Yeah. Could do takeaway bingo later. Welcome to the race, David Gronvals, sorry, 13th, but that one. SRH Xeno M in the P2 cars. You guys might have already done this, so I apologise in advance if you have. You've also got Roger de Clean in 26th position.
Okay. Echo.
Who we got going on in the background? Oh, they've gone now. Good. But he's in 26th position for UK NL Racing, which I'm assuming he's the NL side of the UK NL Racing. If not, I stand corrected. So 34 runners and riders now remaining. Peter Ender's still out front, still leading the GT2 category. In 20th place overall in the race is Renato Dornelles. So excellent racing by him on lap 70 when all of his compatriots, or competitors, are on lap 69.
They were remarkably fast. Even in qualification, they pulled out nearly a second to the rest of the field. It was unbelievable.
So what's the key to this circuit then? What makes you go? What's the key to going fast?
Well, it depends on the car, of course, because the Porsche drives quite differently from the Ferrari on the circuit. What I noticed from the Ferrari is that you need to really focus on the turn 1 and on that bus stop chicane on the back straight, because that's where you either win or lose the most speed. And it's all about, it's late braking into turn 1, and it's all about getting it on the throttle as soon as you can in the bus stop chicane. I think that is the key to mid-lap, to get those two corners right.
Okay. And is there much of a difference really between all the different cars? As who's that Matt Strand's going past that's facing the wrong way? I didn't see. Florian Strauss is right behind him actually. So a good battle for second overall in the GT2 class between Matt Strand and Florian Strauss. Someone was facing the wrong way.
There's also an interesting fight between Porsche and Ferrari, of course, because Porsche is the top speed kind of car in the class. They can really pull away if they have low downforce on the straights. I find that the Ferrari is pretty good on the braking. You can catch up in turn 1, basically, and it goes up and down a bit like that yo-yo effect on the between the two cars.
So, as a personal preference for yourself, Yuri, what type of car would you prefer? One that's quicker down straights, or one that you're able to brake later with?
That's a difficult thing. I always like, being quick on a straight and just waving by people. But then I'm also a kind of late braking driver, so a car that has a good, ability to do that kind of suits me. So that's why the Ferrari is a pretty good car for me. I like the playfulness of the Porsche as well, so I'd choose any of them. Even go with the spike grip can, even if it's just pure nationalistic feeling.
Just to make you happy, never say blue P2 car, and saying they did when it do a driver swap, and the computer, the AI, took over the car. So that might explain why their car drove into the back of someone else in the pit lane, and it might also explain why the car was driving around very strangely without splitter and not returning to the pits, but I'm not sure.
That's the I've seen so far this season.
Yeah, strange. Not quite sure how the user or AI gets involved. I have heard it happen before, but I'm not sure how that happened. Strange incident.
That's an unfortunate end then to their race. And apologies if that wasn't really you driving, Alvin. And we called you several names under the sun. So, never mind. As we're watching Florian Strauss on board through his eye views, see just up ahead is Matt Strand and Brendan Kashmerek as well, who is in 14th position in the P2 car, just lacking the pair of them. This is one of the closer battles that's still going on out on track at the moment, over second in the GT2 class, but 21st and 22nd overall.
Yeah, so they're within a second of each other, and it seems that Strauss is catching up because his lap times are quite a bit faster than that of Matt Strand. Their fastest lap times, they are 0.7 seconds apart. But that's not the speed that Strauss is closing in with right now. Although he is quickly getting to that bumper. Probably half a second lead, as they are in the infield section of the circuit.
Okay, well, I'm going to love you and leave you. I'm going to go and prepare questions on what the best of Renato has 20 meters left. So I will hopefully be back after my stint, and best of luck.
Alright, George.
Best of luck.
Remember, you drive low 45s, otherwise you don't suit in the car.
I will try my best on the 45-1 race next week to get easily, so I will try my best.
Taking,
Good luck.
here comes Florian on that. Matt's gone straight for the inside line. Florian's going to stick his car right up alongside now, and that is going to make a very interesting viewing down into turn one. Into the bus stop? He's pulled straight alongside and through he goes. Excellent move there by Florian Strauss, taking the smallest of the gaps and making it work to his advantage. Matt Strange knew when enough was enough to back off, and indeed he does so. Slips down to third overall in the GT1 class, and there's Florian Strauss. He's done well beforehand in Season 2, and I'm sure he's done well this season as well, making a name for himself this time for the GT2 category, with the faster P1s and 2s stream themselves past.
The team has been less fortunate than previous seasons. They're definitely among the quickest on the track, whatever happens. And Florian is showing that because he immediately pulls a gap of 1 second to Matt Strand. And he seems to be the only driver in the field right now that can match the times of Renato Dornelles, both doing 45s, although Dornelles is doing lows and Florian's driving mids, but he's the only one that seems to get close. And it looks like Matt Strand has to yield and let go. It looks as if my teammates are catching up with him as well, although that's still half a minute. So that will take a while before it actually can happen.
Well, the next battle that we've got that's out on track then is going to be the battle over second and third positions between Andre Martins and Ryan von Steinen. Atlantic Racing versus Satellite Racing, because Ryan has absolutely chomped into the lead between, into the gap between Andrea and himself.
Oh, 3 wide on banking there. That's tricky.
Wow.
Yes, the TAM International car wisely keeping the middle there, not getting in between the two.
And who had a driver swap in the ME Racing car in 11th position. Eddie Hallgren has taken on the wheel.
Oh, and there's a spin off bus stop. TAM International spinning on the exit, avoiding the wall though.
Just getting himself back going again.
Close. Yeah. And then it's getting close with Andre Martins, half a second now, as they approach turn 1.
You can just see a replay on your screens of Ricardo Azevedo going all kinds of all over the place, got himself back going again now. But yeah, the battle for second and third raging quite nicely. Here comes Ryan onto the back. Just seems to be a little bit more comfortable in pushing the car out to the limits of the track, and therefore just gaining those little extra hundredths that then amount into tenths and then roll into seconds over the course of longer distances. Got matched up ahead of them. Now third in the GT class. He moved out of the way nicely. A respected and well-known racer is Matt.
And he's been with us quite a while. But Ryan von Steinen is not very happy with him at the moment, because he loses time behind Matt coming onto the banking.
In some ways though, it's very, very difficult to be a backmarker, because you lose no matter what you do. You lose if you move out of the way because you lose time to your own battles, and sometimes there's only one racing line, so you just have to suck it and see, I'm afraid.
It's definitely compromised to let someone pass, but it's always a challenge to look for the best solution for both.
And making those solutions as well, and just a split second, it's pretty increased tension.
It's a skill all on its own. Definitely.
It's
so the gap is learned 2 seconds again.
It's a skill I've learned throughout my entire...
You dropped away there throughout your entire... What? Seems like Simon's mic has dropped out.
It's not only him. The stream went down for us.
Well, the stream is moving again, but this is my screen, so...
Right, well, if it's at your screen, then it's probably more people watching the motion, actually, rather than the still images. And while Ryan van Steinen is closing on Andre Martins, Jimmy Dion is closing in on Ryan van Steinen. Position 2, 3 and 4 within 5 seconds of each other. Andre Martins well up speed again as he closes up on the ME racing car with Eddie Halgren in it. Two Swedish drivers that provided the spotter guide, which you can download from the homepage if you click the news item about this broadcast. Peter Ender still comfortably leading, 22 seconds between him and number 2, his teammate, his sister car, that is. So number 8 and number 9 of Atlantic Racing Team are in the first 2 positions. Satellite Racing in 3rd and RC de France in 4th position.
And we had a driver swap in the car in 15th position overall. The Thames International P2, I guess, with Rui Nascimento, I think, was taking over the wheel.
Azevedo, our recent spinner, has then handed out the wheel to his teammate.
And I see that Richard Booker is behind the wheel of the GT2 car. The rare GT2 car in 24th position. That's in 6th position in the GT2 category.
Yeah, they've been doing a good race. They certainly have the speed. When I was behind them on the banking, they easily pulled away from me, and by the time I had to hand over the wheel, they were about 20-30 seconds away. But they dropped back due to a crash later, which then lost them 4th position in class.
So Simon, have you fixed your microphone?
I'm not sure yet.
She's back in, so...
I gotta say, this is awful silent to be Simon.
Yeah, it's gonna hardly be him. No voice.
Right.
Yay!
And he's back.
Woohoo! I blame Virgin Media. So I do apologise. It seems to just be a bad connection. I know what they'll do. They'll go, oh, it's because it's so cold, as if the wires know what's going on. Stop talking absolute cobblers and just give me a decent internet connection, damn yous.
Ring!
Rant over.
Another pizza waiting.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
Oh, my God! It's like Domino's over there. What's going on?
We have 4 pizzas since we're staying here for another 5 hours. So
That's like 1 every 2 hours. That's allowed.
yeah, or maybe 4 in 1 hour. We'll see.
And about a ton of sweets as well, so
Ray.
you're in for an interesting end of the race.
Yeah, we'll be high on E numbers.
I also think we have about 4 or 5 liters of energy drink, so...
Oh my God. So
you'll be talking more as the time progresses, I suppose.
I don't want to be
That's
poked
usual.
by any of you, sorry.
One more time then.
Oh dear. And I'm back in the cameras. That's good.
We've got control again. As Jack Keatley is still our leader in the P2 class, 7th position overall, GT Omega if I'm not mistaken, and they're a stunning 1 minute 25 ahead of their closest competitor, and that is Attila Kiss of the Simca Racing Team. And that's nearly a lap in P2 category.
He is mauling in the competition. I've had the pleasure of racing against Jack Keatley in several different types of cars actually, and on all of them he just seems to be one of those people that just is immediately on the pace, and he just can adapt himself to whatever type of car is thrown at him, have such green envious eyes. Top-notch driver, and once again just showing that what he's got. This time for P2.
Yes, very versatile driver then, and he's definitely not letting down his GT Omega teammates.
As welcome to the race, Renascimento for Thames International in the P2. We saw that facing the wrong way not too long ago, so obviously they've had a driver swap-a-roo and then popped some fresh eyes and talents into that wheel.
And that's right.
Who else have we got? In P28 we've got Ricardo Elderman for World Connect competition, just leaving the pits. And there's
the Hungary car spun into two.
Which one?
I think the fifth position driver.
Oh yeah, Gabor
Sixth position
Nemzak.
actually. Yes. Now overtaking one of the P2s. The Arbor Motorsports car.
So, once again, a few new drivers. That's Gabor Nemzak for Hell Racing Team Hungary. Just getting past, hooked up there into the bus stop. And there is our GT2 leader there, Dornells, has hooked up there, goes across the grass, deciding that he wasn't going to make that. Sometimes that's the best way, though, just to completely avoid any anti-cut possible.
Yeah, the things can launch you in the air, especially with the GT2 cars, or probably with any car. They're pretty high. They're good with 2 wheels in a GT2, but with 4 wheels it's definitely not recommended. As I think René Hofterp is getting to the pit lane for a regular stop. But the Hungarian teams we were just talking about, new to RDLMS this season. They had their pilot race on Le Mans last season with a pretty nice intro movie as well. And they decided to come in flux, because now we have 3 teams. This one in P1 and a sister team in P2 and the Simco team, the modding team guys in the black P2 car. We just came across them as we're in second position chasing Jack Keatley, though they're a lap down. No, they're not a lap down yet. Still some 8 seconds between that.
Great little battle developing over 32nd and 33rd positions. Nick Newcomb for Downforce Racing is being caught by Carl Middleton for Total Sim Racing. They've got a couple of P2s in between them. Gregory de Grief is one of the cars, and they're about to be lapped by Job van der Geest as well. But Nick Newcomb being caught quite quickly, so I think that could be a little battle developing quite soon.
Yeah, he also has Steven Pubels just 6 seconds ahead of him, so there's 15 seconds for 3 cars to fit in, and I think Pubels has just cut the chicane, avoiding the anti-cut, and going slow out as Newcomb does the same, running on to the second turn of the banking. It's also a nice battle between 3 types of manufacturers, because Steven Pubels drives a Porsche, Newcomb drives a Ferrari, and Middleton drives a Spiker. One of the 2 Spiker entries in the race. And I think Pubels has just entered the pit, or is that a different car?
That is a different car. Pubels has gone round again. And he's just about to be popped, lapped down by Ryan von Steinen, as Newcomb there just causing a little bit of drama for Lennon as they come into turn 1, just not quite finding the right way to go. It is
a difficult turn there. It's the limits of grip to break into that corner well, and you'll see a lot of people sliding wide there.
As Dornells is into the pits from 19th position, our GT2 leader. So there may be a driver change going on there, because that is where George went off to go and play. So we should see George on your screens shortly. Matt Strand so far behind. Well, Matt Strand is in the pits as well, so they've got a whole lap over everyone. So the GT2 stuff kind of sorting itself out quite nicely. But up front, Peter Enders is our leader, where Jimmy Dion has been into the pits. And, well, they're kind of sharing the lead, the Atlantics and the Team RCat.fr team, aren't they? So,
yeah.
And
winners of last race.
We had a driver swap in the 25 motorsport car. Mohammed Patel was taken over the wheel.
And it seems second position is now being threatened by the RC France team. going on the outside into the start and finish line in turn 1. Andre Martin's taking the inside to defend, but who will come through that corner first?
Ooh. See, because it's such like a double late apex, it makes it really difficult to make a really decent pass into there. And you can see Andre there having to take, once again, the defensive line into turn 2, but that's going to run him out wide, and if he's not careful, Jimmy will go for the switcheroo and dive back through to the next corner. Side by side they go again, and
little touch there.
Chopping across there on Jimmy was Andre. Very difficult to go. There's all kinds of cars going off into the wrong place up ahead.
And they're
that's not
is it Levershire, the rare racing team?
It is.
Joining the track quite nastily there.
Levasseur there just not quite knowing where his car was. I think he was just trying to get himself onto the black stuff as opposed to doing anything else. But here comes Jimmy Dion again, back out onto the curbs.
Into the slipstream.
Yeah, definitely. And I think he's going to use that to his advantage. And if they can get a double slipstream off Levasseur as well, then he could try and... Martin's is going to try and box Dion in behind Levasseur. Good stuff there. But, side by side into the bus stop.
But then the advantage for Dion could be that he could pick up the slipstream with the slower cars and then go past. But we'll have to see how that works out, because these guys are all over the place.
They are
indeed. There.
Was that at the front, wasn't it?
3 wide on the banking, 4 wide on the banking. They're even on the apron. It's pretty dangerous, but they're past, it seems.
Yeah.
Dion is going to set up on the inside. No, he cannot, because that's blocked by GT2 cars.
Well, it is cleaned on the inside there. And
and there's smash. Big collision there.
That was Georgios Apicus there, just being caught out at the wrong time at the wrong place there, and just hitting Jimmy Dion. And thankfully they're all back going again, but it's just meant that Jimmy's been slightly hampered as he gets round Kaczmarek now as well, and that gives Andre Martins a little bit of breathing space.
Yes, and probably an aerodynamic advantage as well, because that damage is probably going to do something to the top speed of that Peugeot.
Martin's off into
Martin
the
loses
grass.
his front wing. His splitter is completely gone.
He has, he's hit the barrier there, he just outbroke himself trying to get round, it was Hoogtube, I think it was, or Hoogtube, sorry. And that has now really, really ruined it all for Martins. He's trying to continue on, but Dion is just sensing the fact that he's got some damage, because he saw him rejoining and he could probably see the front wing left on the grass. And I think Jimmy Dion can smell blood here as they come down the back straight.
He's probably going to take it easy, because he knows that this Audi needs to go to the pit.
Through the escape road, Jimmy Dion busy trying to get round his band of
GT2's getting out of the way through the grass there. It's pretty heavy traffic. Rush hour. There it goes.
It is. Down into the apron, Jimmy goes through. And that's unfortunate there for Andre Martins, because I think that was looking like a tasty battle. But an unforced error all by himself. He wasn't even going to even take the guy, he just went straight off.
Yes, and it's probably going to put Martins back to 5th position and possibly even a lap down, depending on the speed of his sister team driver, Peter Anders.
Yeah, Steinen's gone through. Larsson is next. Where is
Larsson? It shouldn't take long, although he's just getting on the banking now.
The guys who have got a guest in the booth.
Oh, who's that?
Who we got? State your name.
Nick Dario from 25 now.
Hello.
How are you doing? How was your stint?
Well, I just finished the first stint and I was watching the replay. Not really replay, live battle there, but that was pretty intense. No, everything okay for our car. Bubbles is doing great stint as well. Seems to be comfortable. I think he's the faster guy in our car at the moment. We're doing 2-hour stints each, and we haven't had any trouble like at all at the moment. So that's really new for us. Too bad our teammates dropped out at lap 5 or 7 or something, so they have to feel really sore about that. But yeah, okay. Things happen. In the end, yeah. Thing is, Pubbles and I just want to try the car home, hopefully get some points in for the team, and we'll see from there. But I have to say, last time at Road America was already applauding the prototypes in their behavior, and this time it's even a bit better. So the series is really settling in and enjoying it.
And that's what we like to hear. Enjoyment. Oh, sorry, I was giggling also myself there because Andre Martins outbroke himself on the pit lane exit and basically whittled round the wall of the pit lane exit as he was exiting the pits into 5th position. Larson has gone by. So, any predictions for position or anything like that for later on in the race?
Well, a top 10 in class would be cool. But I think we're running in P13, P14 in class at the moment. So actually, we started last. So any advantage we had was because of other people's misfortune, and we're just trying to get the laps in.
So you do. You are indeed 13th in class right now. The leader of GT2 is 19th position. You are 33rd. That's second, sorry, 32nd. And it seems Steven is actually just visiting the pit right now for what looks like a regular pit stop.
Yeah, he's probably going to two shorter stints because we have seen that fuel tank of 90 liters. It's like 90 minutes of racing time, and we try to keep it close to 1 hour to get it easy on the driver's was, because Steven Verbolz is from Washington State, Seattle, and I'm from Belgium, Europe, so we have a really big difference.
Wow.
How do you get into race with practice with each other? Because that's quite a big time difference.
Actually, we don't.
Oh!
Impressive.
Not best of friends then.
No, actually, we're really good teammates, but we mostly communicate by mail to try a setup, and then a setup is chosen, and we just by mail we say, okay, you're going to do that, and blah blah blah.
Oh.
And it works.
Well, if it
Must
works,
be
it works.
pretty early for him, by the way, if I just check what time difference there's between the two of you.
Yeah,
I think
that's
it's
why.
8 hours or so.
Yeah, that's why I always do the start.
And he'll be happy with that.
Oh yeah, catching his beauty sleep, I'd imagine.
No, he'll be fine. Hoping to see him in about more than an hour to take over my last stint and into the 9th time. And keep it up, guys. Nice comment, nice racing all around.
Yeah. Good luck.
Thank you.
With the rest of the race. Well, I see that somebody, and that is Philip Rayner or Sam Wright, has spun off into turn 1.
Why can't I see?
He continued that already.
Ah,
Noticed
25th.
as I was starting to talk.
There he is, just on your screen. 25th, the AGP Consortium, just getting back going again.
Yep. So, winners of last year's race, but this year they haven't been in the top positions yet. Although last year they weren't either, until people started to drop out and they just kept going. Eventually finish it. As we are running towards twilight.
I love it when the sky looks like that.
Yeah. Well, that's good because it's going to look like that for a couple of hours longer, I think.
Good. That's what I like
We'll
to say.
definitely be turning into the darker hours at the end, but that's still a good 3, 4, 5 hours away. I lost count.
Yeah, right. 5 hours 23 minutes left to go. On your screen is George Talbot, Road 5 Motorsports. Welcome to the race. He has been in there for a few laps. It's just this is the first time we've had a chance to see him. There's a bit of debris out there in the middle of the circuit. So someone's been off and lost their front wing. I can't quite see who it is yet. I'm just scrolling up and down the field just to see if there is anything going particularly slowly, but there is definitely a front bumper there. Oh, Jan Larsson's in the pits from 5th position. Maybe it might be him. Who's that?
Peter Anders is wide on the infield. Just went off and was passed by a whole bunch of GT drivers. It's GT traffic hour over there, because I see UKNL, I see O5 Motorsports, SRBN, and Rare Endurance Racing all in the same group at the moment.
Look
George
at that.
Talbot lapping them.
Is it just me, or is that Ferrari a bit slower than the others?
What Ferrari?
the one in the back now.
Yeah, it seems like that. Does he still have all the pieces on?
Well, he's driving on the part of the track that was assigned for damaged cars, so
and
I suspect
I think he rightly did that because he lost his splitter and his hood, and it looks quite wrangled in front there.
What position is the gentleman in?
It's 28th position, it's Jeroen Seiso, and it's my teammate who has now scratched his car. Unfortunately.
Wow. Someone go and get a Meccano set and rebuild it.
Yeah, maybe we should call Maurice again. He's got the real life experience, I reckon.
He has, and he knows that if you crash a car, that it's actually going to cost you some good dosh to recover it. So
yes, especially if you kill a Ferrari.
Oh yeah.
But it seems Jeroen is confident to continue racing with a probably slightly slower car than it used to be.
Indeed. Welcome to the race just behind Jeroen, actually, in 29th position. That's Bartosz Paisayar. Oh, as Mohammed Patel has left the game in 27th position. 28th position he is now. We didn't even get to see him. 25 Motorsports out of the race. They've only just been in the channel, haven't they?
Yes. That'll not be a very happy party there.
Oh, it's a shame for Mohammed. He's done very, very well, actually. He's just I saw him come second in the GPO contest that I've been commentating on elsewhere. He's a very good sim racer, but he didn't get a chance to show himself at all there. So that's our fourth retirement.
They reported that they had no trouble whatsoever during the race, and all of a sudden they're gone.
You should just never say that, really, should you?
It pretty much jinxed it, I guess.
That's like me saying, like commentators curse, saying, "Oh, he'll win." No.
Just went straight off track and boom into the pits, so it seems like a disconnection. But he's been out driving a couple of laps actually after he took over the car.
We've got a nice battle for 23rd position between two of the GT2 drivers. The UKNL driver, the Klein, is just ahead of Richard Blocker of the Rare Endurance Racing team in a Porsche. So this is another of those classic battles, at least manufacturer-wise.
Well, Richard Blocker, I saw, was actually leading the GT2 category when they was all into for pit stops, and I think he must have had some kind of problem somewhere along the line, because he dropped way back down to about 30th or 3rd position at one point. Yep. So he's been climbing himself back up the order.
Pretty big accident, I believe. It was, I think, during my stint even, or just after it. By the way, he's lost a lot of time. He was well into 4th or position or 5th position in class, and now he's dropped back a little, or quite a lot actually. Unfortunately for them, because now they are in, I believe, 6th position.
A lot of traffic on the track now.
Loads of traffic, I was going to say. Proper rush hours are coming through. But here comes Richard Blocker then, straight onto the slipstream on the back of Roger de Clean, and went straight for the inside line. They've got Edwards just up ahead in 22nd position. He's a lap ahead, but he's actually the next car up the order for them, so they've got a long way before they catch up to anyone else. Mike Edwards for Satellite Racing, but Clean holds the racing line perfectly through the bus stop. Blocker has a good exit though, and I think we could see potentially a couple of overtaking opportunities.
This should be where the Porsche starts to be superior, out of the slipstream with a higher top speed possibility.
There he is, straight onto the slipstream. He's drinking out, he's fancying the race.
There he goes
to the inside, and Clean's not really harrying him. They've got Ryan von Steinen fancying
pretty close on first 8 backs.
Oh, dearie me. Clean's on round the outside. Fantastic driving by him. Blocker doing well to not go through. They're going to have to let Steinen through, though. They're going to have to abandon their own battle, but also make sure...
they're not going to do that, it seems.
Oh, and I don't think Steinen will be pleased with that at all. He's in 3rd position as Blocker lives up to his surname and blocks the racing line from Steinen. Through they go. And into the corner they do go. Completely simple there, I love that.
Oh, and there goes Edwards.
Oh. He's facing
giving the two guys behind him that much advantage of at least having their lap back, while Grandfals intervenes in the fight.
Oh, Nascimento there.
A little bit of chat not allowed.
No, naughty, might get a penalty for that. Mohammed Patel's just poked me, which I wouldn't probably say on there. But he's put the dreaded connection lost, so that's unfortunate there for Mohammed, just confirming that that's what we did think was wrong with the retirement connection failure. So maybe once he's calmed down, had a quick chill out, might pop in and say a few words to us. But still, blocker all over the back of Declean, but with no way through.
Well,
they lap Davicus.
There's a couple of car lengths between them now as they're lapping Davicus indeed, and Peter Anders just got passed as well. I just now noticed a little bit of a
category of
Go ahead. Sorry.
Thank you. In the category of drivers also have a drivers swap in the 05 P1 car. Tim Brook now behind the wheel.
Ah, Timmy away.
And Ryan Fossman is in the pits from his third position.
Alright, so Jan Larkin is out of the white Peugeot and replaced by Tim Brook, one of the fastest drivers in the field, I may add.
That was a decent guy. 05 Motorsports. I've got it in my head that that's Australian Ram. Am I lying?
Steve Davis, I'm not sure if he's Australian.
I'm sure he's Australian.
Yeah.
Alright.
From down in the Aussies, mate.
Down under.
And Ryan Fossman stays behind the wheel of the Satellite Racing P1 car, and he is going to rejoin the track in third position.
Oh, smack!
He almost made contact.
He did make contact straight away there with Santi, and Puma was there just up ahead, moving out of the way quite nicely. Is that a battle for position? No, it's not. They've got Carl Middleton in between them and a lap separating those two. So, yep. Steinen back out on track. Tim Brook there then. 5th position for 05 Motorsports. You've got Dion Enders von Steinen, Martin Brook, Nemsak, Keithley, Kiss, Holgren. In fact, Eddie Holgren, I don't think we've seen him yet. In 9th position.
A little bit.
ME Racing and AGP Consortium's Manuel and Rayner rounding out the top 10 overall. So the P1 top 3, we've got Jimmy Dion, Peter Enders, Ryan von Steinen. P2 class, Jack Keithley for GT, Omega, Attila Kiss for Simco Hungarian, and Holgren for ME Racing. In the GT2 trio, we've got George Talbot for 05, Matthias Meyer for 360, and Rene Hootger for SRVN.
Yep, and it seems that Rene is catching up with Matthias Meyer, because there's only 15 seconds between them now. Top 3 still in the same lap after the pit stop that George Talbot that gave George Talbot the car. And Mike Edwards is also still in that same lap. If I'm not mistaken, no, Mike Edwards is one lap down, I'm sorry. That means that the top 3 are still in the same lap in the GT2 class, which is a pretty good situation. So that might give us more chance of battles for the lead.
Best battle that's on track at the moment, though, is between 16th and 17th position. Samueli Lennon in the SRS race has been caught by the Schroten duo, and there's just a couple of car lengths between them. They were much closer, but they're just popping a lap round George Talbot. And depending on how the traffic works out for them, oh, Ziedelman there, right slap bang in the middle of it. I think they just ruined some of that gap closure. But I think they'll be all over each other in the next couple of...
indeed.
No, not at all. And I think they'll be at each other's throats within the next lap or two.
That would be nice. Looking forward to some close action racing then.
Got anything lined up for Christmas, Yuri?
Well, not particularly actually. Just going to visit my mom and dad again.
Again? Have you visited them once before?
Oh yeah. I moved out, I think 3 months ago, but it was a bit in walking distance, so to speak. So I dropped by quite a lot, just for Short
Just
enough.
for lunch, really.
Clean clothes.
Oh, and
No, I got my own washing machine.
Ew,
What's
what
their
cons? You'll never
you
get
can
married
use it as
now.
well, Simon. I won't mind that.
I'm good.
but we got a visitor again.
Who's our visitor in the chat room? Rolling for you. Who's it? Oh, we've got Renato. Hello, Renato.
Hello.
How are you doing?
Fine, great.
Are you quite pleased that you've pretty much destroyed everyone else in GT2 so far?
Oh, not like that.
Okay then.
Just a
But
little.
pretty good first game. No mistakes, no crashes, no. Just maybe 2 close calls, but that happens.
It is indeed, but you're doing pretty mighty fine at the minute as we just get your car currently driven by George Talbot on screen now. More of the same, hopefully, for the rest of the race?
Yeah, George's now keeping the gap to Mayer, and for the final stint, probably Kevin Brandt's gonna take the car the last 3 stints.
Alright. So that qualifying lap, how did you do that?
Oh, just pressing the gas pretty hard. Oh, the car felt pretty great. We changed something in the setup Friday night just to keep it better on the braking for the first turn, and so I was losing a little bit of gap there. And the car just felt perfect on all the braking points, and probably we had the fastest speed on the main straight. I like the lead. I did the pole, but probably the other guys could reach faster times. We saw on the live racers live timing that guys were doing 44.4, 44.3, so
Then
not
you hit a low
a
one.
big gap. Maybe I just did the lap at the right time.
Maybe you did, because it was a remarkable lap. Completely destroyed the competition for lap cars, because there was only one other car in the 44, if I'm not mistaken, and he was up high, rather than driving 44.1 or something. So, congratulations with that. Of course, good luck for the rest of the race.
Yeah, just praying to keep the pace and keep it safe.
Yes, 1 minute 24 now. You think you'll be able to maintain it? It's going to get close.
Yeah, it was the same gap when I leave the car to charge, so he's keeping a really good pace. He already, I saw 46.1, I don't know if he got to 45s now, but probably when the full load just drops, he'll reach it.
Those are good lap times. Definitely competitive in the race. I think there's only 2 teams driving below 46s, or maybe 3 teams, and it's top 3 drivers.
Yeah, in the end of my stint, Rene Rupert, I was just passing him, and he kept on me for the last 20 minutes, I think. So he has a really good pace, too, you know. And obviously the 360 cars, the guys just are going to be on our tails till the end of the race.
Yep, they're actually fighting for second and third now. Just 13 seconds between them, but that's all 3/4 of a lap behind George Talbot, who is comfortably leading. Yeah, you've got. Well,
Oh, we've got a retirement car. Sorry, I was just trying to work it out. Owen Lavassia there, leaving the pit lane, and I think we're going to see the good old driver swap drama. And yet, car goes a little bit skew-whiff, and that is the end of that. What a shame. What a shame there for Erwin Lavassia and Jarno Hojwedge. Obviously a driver swap not quite working to plan. And And that'd be the end of that one, I'm afraid. So we're now down to 32 runners and riders left.
It's a pity, Rare Endurance Racing Team in their P1 Audi out of the race.
In the department of driver swaps, we had a driver swap in the Scroton car, with one taking over for the other.
So which one took over?
I guess that Scroton did take over for Scroton.
Okay.
That's a hell of a lot of Scroton going on. He is in 17th position. Also in the driver swaps while we was watching, we did see him on screen. Tams International, we've got Ricardo Recente out in 16th position. He slotted in just behind Lieninen. So that still relatively close little clump of 3 cars together. Slightly separated now because half of them have pitted and half of them haven't. But that should resume a nice little battle once Lieninen has pitted again, as Klein and Blocker are once again at it in 23rd and 24th position. They're just trying to get round Patrick Rayner or Mike Wright, whoever's in there first. Ooh,
yeah. They were on the pace early in the race, and I believe that is, and I'm going to guess this because I really don't know for sure, but I thought that was Sam Wright first in, and that Philip is probably in there now.
Okay.
Blocker and that is not going to do well, and I see smoke, and Blocker nearly avoiding, or was that just actually a hit? I missed that. But he must have a flat tire now.
We must do. Let's take a little replay of that. I don't know if you can really see it from that angle. I've got a little bit of a dodgy thing
that
going
looked
on.
ugly in every respect.
Well, that was a crash only a month ago. So yeah, not good at all. Let's get back to the actions of Blocker, then into the pits for repairs. Not really his fault. It was a little bit busy, but not busy enough to then crash into everyone. And that has now allowed Mike Edwards to escape for 22nd. Roger de Clean stays in 23rd. Blockers in 24 because they were lapping the person that is next down the list.
It seems that Blocker was up high, and then the Rayner right car got up right up the banking and smacked into the front end of Blocker, who then had a puncture as it squeezed against the wall. And he came down and nearly collided, or actually did collide, with Ross McGregor in the BVM car, who had to make a trip through the grass, crossing our beautiful logos.
Really lucky to crash there.
But yes, and Philip Rayner actually stopped and...
Bit of a lazy spin.
Yes, on the banking, and went through that same bit of grass into the pit lane. I'm not sure he's going to be accepted in his team pit box. He's leaving the pit, or he has left it. Richard Toll just back on the track now. Robin Toll, that is. Oh, I think they driver swapped right away, because Richard Blocker was in there first. So Robin Toll now driving the Rare Endurance Racing GT2 car, and it seems that Rayner and Wright still have problems with their cars. They spun into turn 2.
I just noticed we have a guest.
We do have a guest. Thank you, Joakim, for that. And it is a certain Jack Keithley. Welcome to the show, Jack.
Oh, George Dahl just runs right into Philip Rayner and Sam Wright. T-bone.
Oh, that car's buggered.
I'm not sure what's happening with the Rayner car, because the driving is starting to become quite bad.
Starting. So yeah, he's gone down onto the apron. Sorry, Jack, we'll get to you in 2 seconds. But into the pits, I think he will hobble, and that's a shame there. What's going on with Robin Toll, who's only just taken over that Rare Endurance car? He's on his way quite happily, and yeah, Pajach there to 25. Rayner is pitting in 26th. While we see what's going on with that, Jack, fantastic opening stint there, leading for P2.
It went smooth as silk, mate.
Smooth as silk. This isn't some kind of Rayner.
Not as smooth as what you just saw, I guess. Then.
No. I tell you what, that was so chunky. It's as if it's peanuts.
Oh, and another spin.
And who's that off? That's Vicente. They're off as well. They're all just tripping over each other. If someone's no.
This goes terribly wrong.
And that is Ryan von Steinen there in drama. And is he even going to be able to get going again? That's a dodgy camera angle, I do apologise. But he's back going again.
What just happened?
That is what happened. Bang bong.
Philip Rayner and Resendi crashing into each other on the apron, and then Rayner trying to get back on the apron again as von Steinen hits the Porsche. That was a very, very nasty track entry of the P2 car on the already damaged Porsche of Philip Rayner and Sam Ryan.
It is indeed, and they're kind of going around on the grass pretty much to get themselves back into the pits, but von Steinen dropping down the order. Martin's now up into 3rd position, all kicking off here after what's been a very quiet and relatively respectful start to this race. And you can see Steinen there stopped at the edge of the pit. Resende's in as well, so drama all over the shot. So yeah, Jack, sorry, so smooth as silk. So not only was, I'm assuming that's what, dairy milk, couldn't be too bad. So more of the same hopefully for the rest of the race if you can keep out of everyone else's drama.
Well, definitely, because the last time it went smooth with me involved, it was Fuji last year, or probably it was the year before actually, when we were talking about knickknacks.
Oh, I remember that one. Gampy and Lemon, can't meet it. James Johnson is on the thingy. Richard Blocker's just popped into the shout box actually. Really a shame lacking Phil Rayner. I was riding next to him, he's closing, pit wall and a crash. Unsmiley face. So Richard obviously thinking he wasn't to blame for that one. So, unfortunate for him. We're just watching James Johnson on your screen now while I'm just keeping an eye on Resende and Steinen because they're still in the pits getting repairs, obviously massively damaged cars. Who else have you got driving for you, Jack?
Ben Hussing, he's going to do the last 2 hours.
Ah, so you hopping back in again?
Nope. Well, after 3 hours, no.
What? I thought you loved your sim racing.
I know you love me that much, but now I'm moved out at the moment.
Ah, okie dokie. Never mind. Well, kick back and enjoy a well-deserved beverage. Stop-go penalty has been assigned to Ricardo Resende for dangerous track re-entry, says Yuri there. So, Yuri, one of our live stewards, we've had the pleasure of having him in the commentary booth so we can get some good insight into what's going on behind the scenes, and that will be interesting to get his views on that one.
Yes, it must be done, unfortunately. This was blind, and therefore it must be penalised.
Well, Ryan von Steinen is back out again in 5th position, so that's looking good there. So yeah, thank you very much, Jack. And he says he'll hop back a little bit later when things are quieter, and I'm sure we can talk absolute rubbish when that comes about. So Steiner's back out.
Philip Rayner and Sam Wright have done their pit stop. They are getting back on the track with a car that's hopefully working more to their liking, and they're getting up close right away with one of the P2s, but not close so that another crash comes from it.
Davicus and Clean are in the pits. I can see someone else just in the pits behind them as well. But yeah, Rayner and Wright back out in 32nd position, still not last. Still ahead of Georges Davicus. Louis Santi was the other car in the pits, as is Manuel Rayner from the 10th position, I think they were in. I know Grief's up into 10 now. So, all good stuff kicking off. Still got 32 cars running once they've all cleared Erwin Lavassia in the Rare Endurance team, who disconnected a few minutes ago.
And it seems to be pretty close for 10th position between Gregory de Graaf and Ross McGregor.
Yeah, it is. De Graaf's in.
That is kind of the reason that got so close then.
The De Graaf's into the pits. Ross McGregor then moves up into 10th position. And it's very, very close there actually, as Ross diving through several drivers and running out very, very wide, somehow managing to keep it on the black stuff. Only just Matthias Meyer was in there too. So let's take a quick rundown of the field while we've got a spare few minutes, while there's no big battles going on. First we've got Peter Enders for Atlantic Racing Team. Second, and welcome to the race, Jonathan Dion. Obviously, Johnny and Jimmy. Bless. Third, that's for Team rseat.fr. Third, Andre Martins for Atlantic Racing Team, the sister team for that. Fourth, Gabor Nemsak for Hell Racing Team Hungary. Fifth, we've got Dave Nichols. Welcome to the race for Dave Nichols too, for Satellite Racing P1. Sixth, Tim Brook, 05 Motorsports, also in a P1, not far behind actually Dave Nichols, so that's a little battle that I think we can look out for. Seventh, leading the P2 team, class, is James Johnson for GT Omega Racing. Eighth, Attila Kiss, the Simco Hungarian team, also P2. Ninth is Eddie Holgren for ME Racing, also P2, so third overall in the P2 category. So 10th, Ross McGregor, currently at the moment for Black Visor Motorsports. 11th after his pit stop, and they rose back up the field nicely, Gregory de Graaf for Black Rebels in the P2. Then 12th, Manuel and Reyna for AGP Consortium there, a P1 car, so running slightly behind the rest. 13th, David Gronvales. It's Tim Brook and David Nichols side by side, and that's Tim Brook passed. Tim Brook passes David Nichols on the exit of P1, turn 1. So 5th position overall for Tim Brook, fast guy. Yoinks it from Dave Nichols, who's only just out on track and maybe might be taking a few laps to get up to speed there, Yuri.
Yeah, it might. I was actually wondering what Tim Brook was doing down the grid so far. He had been in the top 4 for most of the time, but then he started to drop back a bit. He seems to be recovering.
Yeah, he's certainly putting to right the wrongs that he had. 13th then is, as darkness continues to descend over the Daytona Speedway, David Gronvals for SRH0M P2 car. I will get that right before it ends. Brendan Kazmarek, 14th for R4R Motorsport P2. 15th, and not too far behind, is Samuli Leonen for SRS Racing. So that's going to be an interesting one, I think, potentially, as they come flying into the corner. But let's stay with this because I know there's a lap between them, don't worry. 16th is the Schroten duo of Roy and Mike for, you guessed it, Team Schroten. 17th, Ricardo Recente for Tams International. 18th, George Talbot, top GT2 class driver on his 102nd lap completion. George Talbot, 05 Motorsports. 19th, second in the GT2 class, is Matthias Meyer for 360 Racing. 20th, Rene Hoogter, for RSVN GT2 class. 21st will be Mike Edwards for Satellite Racing. 22nd is Roger de Clean. For 23rd, Robin Toll. And then for UK NL Racing and Rare Endurance Racing. And just about to complete his 100th lap is Bertois Pijage. I've got no idea. 24th for Atlantic Racing Team. 25th currently is the already retired Owen Lavassier, so we'll be moving into that position. Will be Jerome Saiju for SRVN GT2. Welcome to the track, Ricardo Edelman, 27th World Connect competition. Loving the fact that there's a bit of pink in that, and 3 wide around the banking. Yeah, I always squint slightly. That's going to be tight into there. Just about. Expect the worst, and then only ever be surprised.
I can tell you, gentlemen, my router will go into the river on Monday when I get a new one.
I have heard you, Roy, popping in and out of the chat room. It's like a pause drawers going up and down.
Yeah.
Alright. This is about the mark for me. I need to go and leave you alone.
I'll take over you.
RDLMS today is over.
Oh no!
Yes, unfortunately. Well, take good care of it. Have fun.
Okay. Take care.
Take care.
Oh, you say that. Random Kashmark in turn 1. Pretty neat. Anyway, have a good day. And a good night.
We will do, as Ricardo Edelman decides to mow some grass. Thank you very much, Yuri, our live steward. He's about to probably go back out onto either the track or just have a general rest. Either which, he deserves both. So, to continue the rundown of the order, 28th position currently is Laurie Santi. Oh, as Edelman just goes past someone that's facing the wrong way. Not quite sure what was going on there. 29th, Marcel Vischer for Downforce Racing, GT2. 30th is Carl Middleton for Total Sim Racing. 31st is Stephen Peebles for ISD or LSD Racing. 32nd is Raina Wright for AGP Consortium. Once again, not quite on racing line, although that's kind of where we do see him. And Georgios Davakos is still running 33rd, although he will become 32nd in the next few minutes once he's done enough laps to leapfrog the retired Erwin Levasseur.
Yes, and we've got another visitor in our commentary booth.
Oh, introduce yourself.
Hello, George Paul of UKNL Racing here.
Hey, doing quite nicely. How are you?
I'm fine, and the team is doing okay also. We had some problems in the first half hour of the race when Chuck Penfield was driving the car. He got stuck in some problems and dropped to 36th it was, but I did some shopping, and when I came back, Rogier had taken over the car, and we're running 5th now, and we're doing great.
Hang on. You did some shopping?
Yes. Today I'm not racing today, I'm just on the server for the guys for some moral support. And they don't need me, they're doing fine.
So what did you buy us?
Oh, no, I just got my groceries for this weekend. Even I have to eat sometimes.
What? I thought this man was a machine. Have you seen the laps he puts in? I thought he was AI pole, but there we go. So, will you be back racing with us in other rounds, or are you just taking a little bit of a break for now?
I'm not in this race. I've done the previous rounds. I drove the car, but this time I had some guys who really wanted to do Daytona, so I said, well, okay with me, I'll step back for this one. We have a team of 5 drivers, so 4 drivers needed for this one, each doing 2 stints. I heard many more are doing 2 stints, so this time I'm just there for moral support.
Ah, see, that's a real team player, that is.
And we're actually also looking at the overall standings, and well, of course you hate to see other cars go off, but we're in 4th overall now, and in front of us was the 25 Motorsports car in 2nd, and the Sim Racing for Spain car in 3rd, and they both are out already. So we really hope to get at least to the 2 hour to go mark, so we've done 75% and get some points and maybe climb a bit in the overall standings. That's the focus for today.
why not? So, and you're doing a pretty good job. 22nd position at the moment. You've kept out of trouble. You've been in quite a lot of the battles actually going on this race. So you've provided us much entertainment.
Well, I'm just glad the guys managed to get out of it almost undamaged, and that's what endurance racing is all about, I think.
It is indeed. Survival of the fittest for the longest. 31st position. Phil Wright and Rayner and Wright have got a drive-through penalty for causing a collision. So that is adding insult to their wounds today, I think.
I don't think Ryan von Steinen will disagree about that.
No, I can imagine he won't.
Okay.
So, I was going to say, any Christmas plans before you go?
I've took some days off from work, and I'm very much looking forward to that. It's been a hell of a weeks the past few weeks. So a few days of doing nothing at all. I'm very much looking forward to that.
Excellent stuff.
Damon, you're doing, as always, great job on commentating. I'll leave the channel now. We'll be watching the broadcast, and good luck for the remaining almost 5 hours.
I was with you until you said 5 hours. Oh no. Okay, under. Well, I've got plenty of friends with you to help me through it. So thank you very much for coming in. Enjoy the rest of the show.
We will. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Take care. Lovely. Well, we've managed to dispose of some idiot in TeamSpeak who seems to think that Xbox... Who? Was that our squirrel? Running, ferret running round the wheel?
It's Joakim who is,
epileptic fitting on his keyboard.
yeah. He's waiting for his TeamSpeak thingy to work again. There he is.
Hey.
One day I'm going to shoot this computer.
Oh no. Death by computer. Well, apologies we were stuck on the same camera there for a second. I just had some problems with my computer as well. So hopefully this has been a bearable broadcast with you, with myself, Roy and Joakim, and with input of course from Yuri. You've had a collective tour de force this afternoon. It's been great fun. My goodness. Now, so I need you all to help me out a little bit, because I've got 2 different flavours of beer, and I'm not quite sure which one to kick off with first. So should I go for the German one, or should I go for the Australian one?
Give me the brands.
Are we allowed to do brands on air?
Yeah, I don't think so, but do it anyway.
Okay. There was a line, and then all of a sudden we run through it screaming, Frost. Foster's or Heineken?
Foster's, I think.
Don't ask me, I never drink.
I don't drink, but I used to.
Used to. This sounds like there's a story that needs to be told.
Well, when you go to school in Norway and you pass the last year in school before you go out to work, you have this period from usually November, December to May before your final exam, where we are something called loose. And in this period you're allowed to do every stupid thing and break every law almost made by man. It doesn't mean you're allowed to, but you think you're allowed to. And in this period we party a lot and drink a lot, and I was not very good at that period.
Yeah,
I just get too much and did many stupid things.
Awesome. That story was made slightly more scary by the fact that you was in like double ears. You was all echoing and repeating. I felt like I was there drinking with you.
That might be my fault with leaving my microphone on.
I think what I'll do is I'll start with Australian and then move to German after, and then let's just get very drunk. We're going to do takeaway bingo. I've decided we should do takeaway bingo. That is a staple. That is a staple. I have had people request that, so that will come back, obviously.
I might have a drinking game for you.
What, every time every time Rainer or Wright crashes something, I have to down a shot?
To kill yourself.
Okay. Alcohol poisoning. Just inject it into me, that thing.
Well, every time someone spins, you have to take a sip.
Oh God.
Yeah.
I won't be able to speak. Just drown a bath of vodka. Yum yum yum. Welcome to the race. Actually, we've just had 2 people join, and right now, 14th position, we've got Joseph Mudrak for R4R Motorsports in his P2 car, and then directly behind him is Timo Toika for SRS Racing. And I believe Timu and I are meant to be, after this race is finished, battling each other in a Race of Champions style event. And we've both said that we want the wooden spoon for last place. So we're going all out to make sure that we lose. So that wooden spoon is mine, Timu. Don't even think about it. I will get angry elf on you.
I would actually love to have a broadcast from that race, but I think it won't be any.
Yeah, I think, well, it was originally going to follow on straight after this, I think, but I don't believe there is a broadcast going to be happening for it, but I'm sure I'll make one of my dodgy videos. Anyone that remembers my little Backmarker Brigade team, whenever I've done a race, I do a video where everything's like souped up to twice the speed to attempt to make me look vaguely fast. And I put full music to it, and it's just a crash compilation, really.
I do one of those from Force, actually.
Awesome.
Me and Roy and another friend of us, we race almost every weekend in Force, and I put together a video and upload it to YouTube.
Cool. So what else have we got sim racing going on at this time of year? Because traditionally this is the time of year where everything quiets down, isn't it?
Well, you have the WGL.
Do tell our audience that they can sign up if there's any places left.
That's Roy's field, actually.
Well, yeah, it's one of the race department series. Well, the next race is what was it? 11th of January. So it is a while. The next race as well.
Okay.
Well, Touring Masters under the Touring Pro Series, just directed by Ryan Callum.
Awesome. I remember commentating for some of that, I think last year, it was. So that was still going. Good stuff. So, yep.
Also see the Race Department Touring Car Series Season 8 are starting their sign-up lists at the moment.
Ooh. So if you're interested, pop across to the Race Department website, sign yourself up. If you're watching from simrace.tv, pop across to racedepartment.com. Sign yourself up to be a member and get yourself going. Great place for the race. Yeah. We have a... Oh, Joakim, this is your line.
Oh. What's my line?
We've got a visitor.
Oh, yeah. We got a visitor.
No.
Oh my god. Please, state your name.
Yeah!
Kaczmarek?
Kazmarek, but you're close enough. How are you guys?
Sorry.
We are good. How are you doing, good sir?
I'm not really sure, to be honest.
Oh,
it's my fault.
You should check yourself in to rehab. And yeah.
It was a rough couple of hours, I think.
Were you abused slightly?
I think it was probably self-inflicted abuse. A couple of mistakes, although most of it just came to fighting some frame rate issues. At the start of the race, we were around 225 consistently, and then as it got duskier and people insisted on running with headlights, really
very early on as well. Yeah.
Yeah, for no reason. It got increasingly frustrating as the race went on, because the frame rates dropped lower and lower. So I ran most of the race at about 15, between 15 and 20, and then right before the swap to Joseph, after our third or fourth pit stop or whatever it was, dropped around 10, so we decided just to short pit and get Joseph in the car and go from there.
Oh, boo. So, but who's in your car at the moment? Forgotten.
It's Joseph.
It is Joseph, isn't it? So let's pop him on the screen so that we can relate to you. So, yeah, so if all of your pain was generally self-inflicted, we could give you Gimp Mask of the Race Award.
I'd be honoured, Simon.
Signed by the commentary team. I'm sure.
Oh, how nice.
There we go. So every time you crash, you know, you earn it. But yeah, maybe we need to put in like a pre-race rule that everyone must eat a bowl of carrots before they come on, because I was really surprised at how quickly everyone was sticking their lights on.
I don't know, and I'm not complaining about the league or the driving standards or anything. I mean,
I don't know.
But you know, other endurance leagues have fairly stringent light rules, in that until they're required or until, you know, it's borderline as being necessary, you cannot run with your lights on, period, and you will be penalized for it. And I think passing rules can't use them either. So it keeps the aggression level down a little bit, and it keeps, you know, the frame rate and the performance generally higher for everybody involved, which is, I think, kind of maybe what this league needs to look at. I'd like to see it happen, just because I don't want to have to deal with that again.
Okay.
I mean, the frame rate issues, it wasn't the frames themselves, it was just not being able to react quickly enough. So you get a little bit of oversteer, and you know, you just can't react to it because you're only getting 15 inputs a second.
Yeah.
You can process and recover from. So a lot of silly issues, and it started on lap 3. I hit one of the sleeping policemen on the chicane, and I think took Gregory DeGraff with me. He had no radio, so it wasn't his fault, just bad timing, and it just went downhill from there. Although, about, I think it was my third stint, about maybe 4 or 5 laps in, there was a Ferrari doing about 80 miles an hour between turns 1 and 2 on the racing line, and it caught me totally off guard. Never saw him, couldn't have avoided him, slammed straight into the back of him, took the splitter off. We figured, since it would have cost us an extra pit stop, which is around minute 40, minute 50, and the car was doing 200 miles an hour in a straight line, and still had good low-speed grip, we'd just run the rest of the stint without a front splitter, and we did. And it actually went reasonably well.
Okay. Well, if you survived all of that, I think you deserve at least a cold beverage of sorts. Because that sounded like you had a bit of a hellish time out there, but you've done well to survive it. 15 frames per second, that sounds suspiciously like the F1 2011 game.
It's massively unpleasant. I mean, I do a bit of flight simming, which is fairly graphic intensive, so I'm used to that in that sim, but when this requires real-time, you know, reaction and input, lest you destroy somebody else's race, never mind your own, it gets awfully hairy, awfully quickly.
I'm quite interested. Flight simming. Do tell. Is that like actually where you sit down and you've got like the proper joystick and you're like, right, we're off to blah blah blah?
Yeah, I mean, I've actually got the whole proper kit, you know, a la something you'd have in sim racing, so yoke, rudder pedals, throttle quadrant, the whole bit.
Would that ever inspire you to get your own like private pilot license or something?
Already have it.
Ooh!
Yeah. So, one fed the other, and, you know, so I just do it for kicks, you know, boredom or whatever. But, you know, it's no different really than sim racing. Just something to keep your interest up and make you feel like you're going somewhere.
Yeah. Notably, the nearest airport.
Or indeed the farthest.
That's true. Though maybe they should bring out, like, a flight sim racing game that actually everyone starts off at the same airport and then you have to get to, like, Egypt or something, and then whoever rides the winds best gets there.
Actually, it's getting a bit off topic. Though it is still related to sim racing.
Have we ever been on topic?
With Simon, with you, Simon, no, I don't think so.
No.
But I think that's why we keep you around. So, you know,
Okay.
no hard feelings. Every year in February, around President's Day weekend in the United States, which is like the second weekend or third weekend in February, there are 3 or 4 large flight sim forums and organizations that get together and do an online around the world race, and they all start at one place, and there are different sort of challenges. You can pick up some bonus points via however they set up the rules, and it takes about like 4 or 5 days, and you just hand a figurative baton off, and it just keeps going and going and going and going until you come back where you started.
Oh, wow. That's great. As welcome to the race, Stefan Pearson for Atlantic Racing. He's pitted from 3rd position. I think someone's taken over the cameras because Matthias Meyer's showing up in the pits now. But yeah, it's.
Oh, don't blame Roy.
I'll blame Roy. I'll blame Roy.
Okay.
Oh,
So,
busted.
yes, fiddling around. Never mind. Wow, I did not realise that something like that actually took place. That's pretty cool. Oh, Dave Nichols is out. He's crashed. Dave Nichols, let me get a Oh, I don't know if we're too late for it. I'm going to see if I can back it up.
That satellite car has had some awful luck in the last 45 minutes or an hour or so, hasn't it?
Yeah, I can't get it back on the broadcast, sadly, but he has retired from 6th position with suspension failure, so that can only mean one thing, and that is a little bit of a crasheroo into the barriers. And you can see Tim Brook there was facing the wrong way for a second as well, so slightly confused as to what's going on, but I'm assuming that there was some kind of drama going on which has led to Nichols' retirement. So that's a real shame there, because he hadn't been out very long.
Yeah, that car was hit. Was that the car Ryan von Steindl was on earlier when they got knocked around a bit at the chicane?
Quite possibly, yeah. There's been so much argy-bargy going on this race, actually.
It's been unbelievable. It really has. I mean, it's not a particularly difficult track, but it doesn't take much of a mistake, especially at the chicane, for things to go very wrong, and for it to take out other people. Got a message from Matt Strand saying David caught the inside curb at the bus stop and smacked the wall and killed the engine.
Ah, what a shame there. So, it sounds like an unforced error after all of that. I think that might have caught out Tim Brook, though, because Tim Brook was facing the other way around at the same time, so not
yeah,
good
I
there.
think it was at turn 6, so I wonder if there's a big go. Tim Brook's been locking up an awful lot lately. Pushing that car a little hard, I wonder.
Is thinking later on down the race, is there any particular parts of the car that are really under stress round here?
I guess it depends on what your strategy for the race is. For us, we've been running sort of a higher boost strategy, so I mean we're running solid top speed, 195, 196 miles an hour around the banking, and it tends to really heat the tires up, especially the rear tires. And for the P2 cars, they're pretty unstable on the throttle as it is, and coming off turn 3, turn 5, and even turn 2 a little bit, it starts to spin up the rear tires. You really have to be gentle on the throttle. But the left front tire also takes a punishing, because you have to lean the car pretty hard on the left front on corner entry to get the car slowed down for the apex.
Okay, yeah, because it just, I wasn't quite sure really what stresses and strains the car most around here, because it's got a little bit of everything. It's kind of got that slightly Mickey Mouse middle sector where it's all kind of different medium-y, slightly fumbly corners all the way through it. Then the horrific bus stop, complete with sleeping policemen galore, and then this ginormous banking. So I was kind of like, I wonder. So no, it's good insight to have actually. Best battle that we've got going out on track currently on the top end of the field is for Gabon Emsak. He's being caught by Tim Brook over 4th and 5th positions. The gap now down to just over 6.5 seconds. And Tim Brook going much quicker, so that's going to end up looking quite good too. Also, welcome to the race, Richard Bauer for Simco Hungarian team in 7th position. So he's just joined the fray, and I'm sure that will be quite good. Also in 11th place, welcome to the race, Bob Hutchins for Black Visor Motorsports. So he's in the P2 category, 4th overall in the P2 category, so he will be looking at trying to catch Gregory de Grief up in front of him. No other new joiners there, but...
Joakim has something he wants to say.
Hey, Simon.
There is something you want to say.
Yeah.
What do you want to say?
We have a guest.
This is the Children's TV.
And now, children, we have Mike Smolczewski. Welcome, you're on air.
Before Mike gets
What did I
talking,
get myself into?
because Lord knows he'll never stop, I'm going to head out, guys. Thanks for the broadcast. We'll catch you later.
You take care, Brendan. Pleasure to have you with us. Oh, as Robin Tull was facing the wrong way, as is Pearson in 3rd position. Drama outside on the exit of the bus stop. Let's get a replay of that one, because that was a little bit dodge. If it will let me. Is it letting me? No, it won't. Oh, it just catches on the end of it. That's annoying. Never mind, but Pearson there had hit Robin Tull. The pair of them went round. Thankfully, our 3rd placed man is still running nicely, as is Robin Tull. But, yeah, unfortunate incident there. Bring on the Simcheski!
How's it going, guys?
As you can tell, great.
It definitely sounds like it. Figured I'd dive in and see what was going on since our day is now officially done.
Unfortunately, it was going so well earlier on though as well. Oh, as Robin Tull was just spun around Nemchek for 4th position. That is drama llama, because Froome is going to go potentially. Tim Brook's not close enough. Nemchek stays in 4th position. They've got Robin Tull between them, but suddenly Tim Brook now very much within striking distance. So apologies if I start screaming halfway through you talking, Mike. It's just that I think we may have a change of position coming very shortly.
I definitely understand. It looks like it's very, very interesting out there, to say the least.
Interesting good, or interesting bad, or interesting... Whoa, that's crazy!
You know, I'd say it's all of the above. That's probably the best way to put it.
It's a pick and mix.
No, our stint started out great. We were a little unsure with the car and the setup early in the week, and came into something and had, I think that was our best qualifying session of the series. We placed it in 3rd. We were up leading for a while because we had a little different strategy, I guess, than the leading cars, and with the stop and go for the Atlantic team, it shot us into 1st for a good amount of the stint, and turned over to Ryan. I guess he had a little trouble with some frame rates, so he was struggling a little bit on the speed, had a little trouble with flat traffic, and then obviously you guys saw the major incident there that he just had nowhere to go, unfortunately, and that just kind of started the downward spiral.
What a shame. But you were leading. You had P1 next to your name for a good chunk of time. That couldn't have been too bad at all to see.
No, I was definitely happy. We were kind of wondering how the strategy was going to play out, because we were doing like a fuel conserving strategy and tire strategy to see if it would make up some of the time that we didn't have on the outright speed. But guess we'll have to wait till next season for here.
Yeah, indeed. Or further races, because this isn't the last one, surely. So, but you've got great underlying pace, so I think that bodes really well for the future.
Yeah, it was definitely positive to see everything kind of go the way it did. So it definitely gives us some hope for Road Atlanta. Chomping at the bits to get there and see what kind of fun it's going to cause with a much tighter track with all the cars. So.
Oh gosh.
I didn't want to say it, but neither did next time.
But and what are you up to for Christmas then?
Well, I have I feel like that movie 4 Christmases. I've got 4 families to go visit in the span of 2 days, so I'll be traveling.
Are you going to be having 4 Christmas dinners?
Certainly hope so.
Oh my god. I tell you what, they better not run you for the next round because you'll have weight ballast coming up by the time it comes along. Oh, dude. Oh, excellent. Oh well, I hope you enjoy your massive piggy outy session and try and enjoy the rest of the broadcast, and then you can come in at the end and post in the forum, well, we would have won that. And then it would all be okay.
Maybe I'll do that. That sounds like fun.
Awesome. Anyway, sorry, did anyone else have any other questions? I just kind of carried on there.
Actually, we disconnected while you were speaking, so we haven't heard anything.
Oh well. So yes, what we'll say then, Mike, if we just tie them up and leave them on a ferry, and we'll pick them up in Calais, yeah?
You can get them stranded on that Ferris wheel out there in the infield. That'll be fun.
That would be great. Yeah, put them on the ferry. Maybe that's what we should do next, because we're due up for having one of our restarts in the broadcast soon. While we're doing that, quickly superimpose their faces. Cheesy grins. But no, pleasure to have you with us, Mike. And take care and enjoy the rest of the Christmassy season.
Thank you guys, you too, and definitely appreciate all you guys do with the broadcast here. Definitely makes it a lot of fun.
It's our pleasure.
Oh yeah. So, as Mike takes leave and starts to pretty much have a week of anorexicity before he has to eat all of his dinners all at once, I think we're coming up for one of those times where we've got to take a quick break through, but I'll just quickly run through the order before we do. We've got Jonathan Dion currently leading at the moment, just while we're sorting out the pit stops. He is for Team RCF.FR, ahead of the Welcome to the Race John Davies. We did see him in the Atlantic Racing Team. He's just pitted, but once Jonathan Dion re-pits again, because they're a pit stop behind, John Davies will retake that lead. Third will be Stefan Person, for the second Atlantic Racing Team. Fourth now Tim Brook, ahead of Gabor Nemsak for 5th position. Gabor, they're just being caught out with all of the dramas that were going on around him, where he was lapping various people. 6th and top P2 guy was James Johnson, sorry?
We have a DNF on Ricardo Edman in the World Competition GT2.
Oh, that's a shame. I didn't even make any cheese comments before he'd gone. Rubbish. So, that's the World Connect Competition GT car out. I was in 30th position when we spotted that. That's a shame.
Or was it accurate?
I'm assuming that, because it's got DNF next to the name, I'm assuming that would be a disconnect. So, that's a shame. That is a shame. But not to worry, we've still got 30 then left to go. 30 riders and runners remaining then. So 7th position Richard Bauer for Simco Hungarian, 2nd in the P2 class. 8th is Gregory de Grief for the Black Rebels, who's closing him down but has still got a lap to go yet before he catches Richard Bauer. 9th is Eddie Halgren, 4th in the P2 class for ME Racing. And now back into the top 10, the Manuel Rayner AGP Consortium car P1. 11th is Bob Hutchins for Black Visor Motorsports, there he is. And then we've got David Grunbaus for SRH Zeno MP2 in 12th position. Almost a lap behind. 13th, almost a further lap behind that, is Joseph Mudrak for R Motorsport, 13th position. 14th, Timo Toika for SRS Racing. You're doing a bit well, mate. I think I'm going to have the wooden spoon later on. 15th, plenty of Schroten going on between Roy and Mike in the P2 category now in the top 15. 16th is currently David Nichols, but that's because the GT2 guys are some 7 laps behind the Schroten duo. So George Talbot leading the GT2 category on 121 laps, soon to be 122, ahead of Matthias Meyer, who is closing them down. No doubt about that, and that's going to be a great little scrap coming up shortly when we rejoin. 19th and welcome to the race, Jan Wimensing for SRVN GT2, third in the GT2 class. Then the odd one out, P2 of Ricardo Resende, very much off the rest of the field there in his P2 car. 21st, Mike Edwards for Satellite Racing. 22nd, Roger DeClean for UKNL Racing. Get your teeth in, Simon. Careful, Roger. 23rd, Robin Tull, after his little bashing cars moment, is back doing what he does best, lapping and keeping things going for Rare Endurance. 24, Bartosz Hajjarz for Atlantic Racing Team. 25, Jerome Sisu for SRVN GT. 26, Laurie Santi for KBR Racing. Still going well, is Santa Claus. 27 is Marcel Vischer for Downforce Racing. 28, Carl Middleton for Toto Sim Racing. 29, Stephen Boobles for LSD Racing. And 30th, and will be, well, second last, is Philip Rayner and the Right Car AGP Consortium. And soon to be 31st, and will be 30th once he's caught up with all the laps, Georgios Davakos still going for Waterblue Racing. Well done to him.
Yeah, the team owner in the Waterblue Racing Porsche.
Ah!
At least one of the team owners are getting to drive today, I see.
Oh. You know what? When we rejoined, it lasted 10 seconds.
Our fault.
So, what we should do, just before we'll have to rejoin in a second, let's go and reconnect ourselves to the server. We'll be back here with you on simrace.tv and RaceDepartment.com for the next 2 hours of RDLMS here at Daytona Road Course Speedway. Bob.